Well, yes. Yeah, I know. I know. Good boy. Good morning. Good boy. Arf, arf. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. All right. We got a co-host. Awesome. So we're continuing on with the mysteries of sex transmutation. So yesterday we finished up. The emotion of sex is a virtue only when used intelligently and with discrimination. That's important to understand because it's an extremely powerful tool. And a lot of times we use it for just its physical end without using that space in between the start of the feeling and the end of the feeling. In that middle, there's a very high vibration in the body that, when understood, can be used to transmute many thought things into its physical reality. It seemed quite significant to the author when he made the discovery that practically every great leader whom he had the privilege of analyzing was a man whose achievements were largely inspired by a woman. In many instances, the woman in the case was a most self-denying wife, of whom the public had heard but little or nothing. In a few instances, the source of inspiration has been traced to other women. Perhaps such cases may not be entirely unknown to you. Intemperance in sex habits is just as detrimental as intemperance in habits of drinking and eating, meaning you do a little too much. In this age of which we live, the age which began with the World War, intemperance in habits of sex is common. This orgy of indulgence may account for a shortage of great leaders. No man can avail himself of forces of his creative imagination while dissipating them. No man can avail himself. Hold on, let a couple of people in. There we go. Put that over here so I can see it. No man can avail himself of the forces of this creative imagination while dissipating them. You can't offer yourself access to your money if you're spending it. You can't offer access to your energy if you're giving it away. Man is the only creature on earth which violates nature's purpose of this connection. Every other animal indulges in its sex nature in moderation, with purpose which harmonizes with the laws of nature. Every other animal responds to the call of sex only in season. Man's inclination is to declare open season. Every intelligent person knows that stimulation in excess through alcohol, drink, or narcotics is a form of intemperance which destroys the vital organs of the body, including the brain. Not every person knows, however, that overindulgence in sex expression may become a habit as destructive and as detrimental to creative effort as narcotic or liquor. A sex-mad man is not essentially different than a dope-mad man. Both have lost control over their faculties of reason and of willpower. Sexual overindulgence may not only destroy reason and willpower, yet it may also lead to either temporary or permanent insanity. Many causes of hypochondria in imaginary illness grow out of habits developed in ignorance of the true function of sex. From these brief references to this subject, it may be readily seen that ignorance on the subject of sex transmutation forces stupendous penalties upon the ignorant on the one hand, and withholds from others equally stupendous benefits on the other. Widespread ignorance on the subject of sex is due to the fact that the subject has been surrounded with mystery and beclouded by dark silence. The conspiracy of minds of young people that the psychology of prohibition, the conspiracy and mystery and silence had the same effect upon the minds of young people that the psychology of prohibition had. The results have been increased curiosity and desire to acquire more knowledge on the verboten subject, and to the shame of all lawmakers and most physicians, by training the best qualified to educate the youth on the subject. Information has not been easily available. So you can continue on. There's some cool stories to read in there. Sex alone is a mighty urge to action, yet its forces are like a cyclone. They are often very uncontrollable. When the emotion of love begins to mix itself with the emotion of sex, the result is calmness of purpose, poise, accuracy of judgment, and balance. What person who attained to the age of 40 is so unfortunate as to be unable to analyze his statements and to corroborate them by his own experience? Success is heart-based, not head-based. Criminologists have discovered that the most hardened criminals can be reformed through the influence of a woman's love. There's no record of a criminal having been reformed solely through the sex influence. These facts are well known, yet their cause is not. Reformation comes, if at all, through the heart or the emotional side of a man, not through his head or the reasoning side. Reformation means a change of heart. It does not mean a change of head. A man may, because of reason, make certain changes in his personal conduct to avoid the consequences of undesirable effects. Yet genuine reformation comes through the change of heart, through a desire to change. The presence of, I'm just skipping over to stuff that I've underlined. The rest are stories or repeated content. The presence of any one or more of the destructive emotions of the human mind through the chemistry of the mind sets up a poison which may destroy one's sense of justice and fairness. In extreme cases, the presence of any combination of these emotions in the mind may destroy one's reason. The road to genius consists of the development, control, and use of sex, love, and romance. Briefly, the process may be stated as follows. Encourage the presence of these emotions as the dominating thoughts in one's mind, and discourage the presence of all destructive emotions. The mind is the creature of habit. It thrives upon the dominating thoughts fed it. Through the faculty of willpower, one may discourage the presence of any emotion and encourage the presence of another. Control of mind through the power of will is not difficult. Control comes from persistence and habit. The secret control lies in understanding the process of transmutation. When any negative emotion presents itself in one's mind, it can be transmuted into positive or constructive emotion by the simple procedure of changing one's thoughts. There is no other road to genius than that through voluntary self-effort. A man may attain great heights of financial and business achievement solely by the driving force of sex energy. Yet history is filled with evidence that he may, and usually does, carry with him certain traits of character which rob him of the ability to either hold or enjoy his future. This is worthy of analysis, thought, and meditation, for it states truth, the knowledge of which may be helpful to women as well as men. Ignorance of this has cost thousands of people the privilege of happiness, even though they possessed riches. We hear often that people become successful and then they lose it all. They become successful and they lose it all. And they get tired. And in that tiredness, they wind up stopping their focus. Why do we go on this roller coaster? Well, there's probably a lot to do with this sex energy. this idea of being in love with something, of being drawn by something, of being motivated by something. Money doesn't create a sexual urgency. Maybe that's where the phrase money is the root of all evil. It kept you from being in love with someone, something other than money, right? People fell in love with money and it created a lot of heartache. Still does today. The emotions of love and sex leave their unmistakable marks upon the features. Moreover, these signs are so visible that all who wish may read them. The man who is driven by the storm of passion based upon sex desire alone plainly advertises that fact to the entire world by the expression of his eyes and the lines of his face. The emotion of love, when mixed with the emotion of sex, softens, modifies, and beautifies the facial expression. No character analysis is needed to tell you this. You may observe it for yourself. The emotion of love brings out and develops the artistic and the aesthetic nature of man. It leaves its impress upon one's very soul, even after the fire has been subdued by time and circumstance. Memories of love never pass. They linger, guide, influence long after the source of stimulation has faded. There is nothing new in this. Every person who has been moved by genuine love knows that it leaves enduring traces upon the human heart. The effect of love endures because love is spiritual in nature. The man who cannot be stimulated to great heights of achievement by love is hopeless. He is dead, though he may seem to be alive. What memories influence you? Ask, what was the source of this action? The memories that you had of love. I was just looking, 9/27/24, flying back home from Montana. That's when we went up there last year. Even the memories of love are sufficient to lift one to a higher plane of creative effort. The major force of love may spend itself and pass away like the fire which has burned itself out, yet it leaves behind indelible marks as evidence that it has passed away. Its departure often prepares the human heart for a still greater love. Go back into your yesterdays at times and bathe your mind in the beautiful memories of past love. It will soften the influence of the present worries and annoyances. It will give you a source of escape from the unpleasant realities of life, and maybe, who knows, your mind will yield to you during this temporary retreat into the world of fantasy, ideas or plans which may change your entire financial and spiritual status of your life. If you believe yourself unfortunate because you have loved and lost, perish the thought. One who has truly loved can never lose entirely. Love is whimsical and temperamental. Its nature is imperial and transitory. It comes when it pleases, it goes away without warning. Accept and enjoy it while it remains, but spend no time worrying about its departure. Worry never brings it back. That should go on a t-shirt. For everything we worry about. Worrying never brings it back. Dismiss also the thought that love never comes but once. Love may come and go many times without number. Yet there are no two love experiences which affect one in just the same way. There may be, and there usually is, one love experience which leaves a deeper imprint on the heart than all of the others. Yet all love experiences are beneficial, because to the person who becomes resentful and cynical when love makes its departure, there may be, and there usually is, one love experience which leaves a deeper imprint on the heart than all of the others. Yet all the love experiences are beneficial, except to the person who becomes resentful and cynical when love makes its departure. There should be no disappointment over love, and there would be none if people understood the difference between the emotions of love and sex. The major difference is that love is spiritual, while sex is biological. No experience which touches the human heart with spiritual force can possibly be harmful, except through ignorance and jealousy. Love is, without question, the greatest experience. It brings one into common with infinite intelligence. When mixed with the emotions of romance and sex, it may lead one far up the ladder of creative effort. The emotions of love, sex, and romance are sides of the eternal triangle of achievement building genius. Love is the emotion with many sides, shades, and colors. The love which one feels for parents or children is quite different than that which one feels for one's sweetheart. The one is mixed with emotion of sex, while the others are not. The love which one feels in true friendship is not the same as felt for one's sweethearts, parents, or children, yet it, too, is a form of love. Then there's the emotion of love for things inanimate, such as the love of nature's handiwork. Yet the most intense and burning of all these various kinds of love is that experienced in the blending of the emotions of love and sex. Marriages, not blessed with the eternal affinity of love, properly balanced and proportioned with sex, cannot be happy ones and seldom endure. Love alone will not bring happiness in marriage, nor will sex alone. When these two beautiful emotions are blended, marriage may bring about the state of mind closest to the spiritual that one may ever know on this earthly plane. When the emotion of romance is added to those of love and sex, the obstructions between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence are removed. Then a genius has been born. What a different story is this than those usually associated with the emotion of sex. Here is the interpretation of the emotion which lifts it out of the commonplace and makes it potter's clay in the hands of God, from which he fashions all that is beautiful and inspiring. It is the interpretation which would, when properly understood, bring harmony out of chaos which exists in too many marriages. The disharmonies, often expressed in the form of nagging, may usually be traced to lack of knowledge on the subject of sex. Where love, romance, and proper understanding of the emotion and function of sex abide, there is no disharmony between married people. We're going to end there. Married people. Why do you think he'll... Okay, there's one more. Maybe we'll finish real quick here. We'll finish this because the next chapter is the subconscious mind. So we'll wrap this one up. There's only a page and 2 pages. Fortunate is the husband whose wife understands the true relationship between emotions of love and sex and romance. When motivated, this holy triumvirate, no form of labor is burdensome, because even the most lowly form of effort takes on the nature of labor of love. It is a very old saying that a man's wife may either make him or break him. Yet the reason is not always understood. The making or breaking is the result of the wife's understanding or lack of understanding of the emotions of love, sex, and romance. Despite the fact that men are polygamous, they are by the very nature of their own biological inheritance, it is true that no woman has as great an influence on a man as his wife, unless he is married to a woman totally unsuited to his nature. If a woman permits her husband to lose interest in her, becomes more interested in other women, it is usually because of her ignorance or indifference toward the subjects of sex, romance, and love. This statement presupposes, of course, that genuine love once existed between a man and his wife. The facts are equally applicable to a man who permits his wife interested in him, permits his wife's interest in him to die. Married people often bicker over a multitude of trivialities. If these are analyzed accurately, the real cause of the trouble will often be found in the indifference or ignorance on these subjects. Man's greatest motivating force is a desire to please women. The great hunter who excelled during prehistoric days, drawn before the dawn of civilization, did so because of the desire to appear great in the eyes of women. Man's nature has not changed in this respect. The hunter of today brings home no skins or wild animals, yet indicates his desire for her favor by supplying fine clothes, motor cars, and wealth. Man has the same desire to please women that he held before the dawn of civilization. The only thing that has changed is the method of pleasing. Men who accumulate large fortunes and attain to great heights, the power of fame, heights of power and fame, do so mainly to satisfy their desire to please women. Take women out of the lives, and great wealth would be useless to most men. It is this inherent desire of man to please women which gives women the power to make or break a man. The women who understand man's nature and tactfully caters to it and need to have no fear of competition of other women. Men may be giants with indomitable willpower when dealing with other men, yet they are easily managed by the woman of their choice. Most men will not admit that they are easily influenced by women they prefer, because it is the nature of male to want to be recognized as the stronger of the species. Moreover, the intelligent woman recognizes that this manly trait, and very wisely makes no issue of it. Some men know they are being influenced by a woman of their choice, their wives, sweethearts, mothers, or sisters, yet they tactfully refrain from rebelling against the influence because they are intelligent enough to know that no man is happy or complete without the modifying influence of the right woman. The man who does not recognize this important truth deprives himself of the power which has done more to help men achieve success. The man who does not recognize the important truth deprives himself of the power which has done more to help men achieve success than all other forces combined. The end of chapter 11, The Mysteries of Sex Transmutation. Questions, comments, thoughts? Powerful stuff. Why so much conversation?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silka.
That's very beautiful. I liked all that. Why don't all people live by that?
Ignorance, they don't know it.
Well, I didn't know all of that.
Right.
I mean, I know some of it, but not all of that. It should be something you learn early on. And I think maybe some people are taught that because that's how their family functions.
Right.
But most of us, their family probably doesn't function like that. So we don't learn it.
Right. 100%. Andre Paradis, the gentleman, friend of mine from California, we're in the mastermind together. He teaches this. He teaches how women should speak to the left side of a man and not the right side. Teaches them how to use their body in simple walk. In a simple walk and a simple phrase to the left side, you can absolutely control somebody, and you got to know it. You got to promise to use it for good. We have to understand that there's boys, there's guys, and there's men, right? And there's a lot of women out there who want the boys in life because they want something to take care of. There's guys out there. Guys are out there, the ones saying, "Hey, do you got some money for my rent?" Why would you ever go out with a guy who you need to pay rent for? Right.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then there's men, right? The challenge is that women haven't been taught the difference between the F boys and the guys and the men. And to truly find a man, you don't ask a man, so where do you want to go? They go, get dressed, we're going to dinner tonight. Right? There's a strong dominant willed, but not in controlling. It's saying, here's what we're going to go do. You don't have to question the conversation. So that's, and he teaches that. And I've had him do that twice now, and it's turned into 3-hour conversations on our trainings, but it's powerful stuff.
Who is he?
Andre Paradis. He's a dance instructor. He was a backup dancer for J-Lo and a variety of people from California. And he just understood this idea that there's this missing dialogue that women don't understand, of how to do exactly what he's talking about, sex transmutation, understand how to leverage their skills and talents that women have. A gaze from a woman can change the whole idea of a man. So yeah, he's powerful. And what I'll do is I'll have Rhea dig up the 2 interviews. It should be in interviews with Sean.com. If you go there, there's all of the interviews of me, Les Brown, Mark Victor Hansen, Andre Paradis, the guy who swam the English Channel 3 times. There's all of the interviews that I've done are in there. So
Wow, I've never heard of him, but you know what? It's very true, because even I find myself in a totally different state of mind when I'm in that state,
yep,
in an amazing relationship that is very powerful, with everything included. I mean, I
yep,
know that,
yep,
and I look for that, but it's difficult to find, and I don't know why it's so difficult for me to find. But yes, I can totally relate to that.
yep. Well, so from today forward, maybe say, I'm interested in that, and it will easily and effortlessly find me. Because you say it's difficult to find. The universe responds to every request we give it. Every request we give it.
Yeah, you're right. It's easy to find.
It's easy to find. Now, this is where faith comes in. This is where persistence comes in. This is where visualization comes in. The physical, the right now, doesn't have it. And the hardest thing is to have the faith that it exists right now. Right? If it doesn't exist in the physical world, the absolute truth is the opposite also exists.
Well,
So as
I
much
know
as
it exists. I
right.
know it exists.
So yeah. So just be aware of the words. And what you'll find is that as you become more and more aware of your words, and I say this to all of us, as we become more and more aware of our words, we realize it will hit you the one day and you'll say, oh my gosh, I've been keeping that from me. There's nobody keeping you from your success except us. We keep ourselves from our own success with every breath, with every blink of our eye, with every beat of our heart. It's the frequency we are sitting in. It's the vibration we are sitting in. And our words describe our vibration.
You're very right, because if things go well, I can find myself, if I struggle or things don't go the way I feel that they should go,
Yep.
I get very frustrated, and the way I respond to people and the way I speak to people is from frustration instead of from, I don't, happiness or
Yep.
yeah, I know that. I mean, I'm aware of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we got to check in as we enter into a moment in our day, in our life, in an hour. As we enter into that moment, we have to ask, from what state is going to respond? That's why if we pause and breathe, take a breath before we respond, we can ask ourselves. Some people pause and take a breath so that they can get more mad. I
That's
would
funny.
encourage all of us to say, that just triggered me. Isn't that fat? And sometimes you can say it out loud. Wow, that just brought back me to a state of like wanting to fight it out, duke it out. Let me just take a second, think of a different thought, right? We have control over our thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to have for the ready. A lot of people have ready the ammunition for a fight. most of us, the majority of us, don't have the ammunition ready for the love. And if you start to work on what would be a loving response to a activation of my anger. Wow, I still have it. How cool is that? Hey, thanks for bringing that up. And somebody may be looking at you like this. Well, they're going to leave anyways in an hour or a day or a week. You have to be the one in control. And when you decide that you will take control over you, man, things Epictetus, for those of you with desire, put it on the shelf. Put desire on the shelf until you determine what's within your circle of influence and what's outside your circle of influence. Once you determine where that boundary is on what you have absolute control over, go back, pick up desire, for you'll never have a bad day.
Well, I have absolute control over myself.
Yeah. And we all should use that control over ourselves more and not get frustrated when somebody sends us something or says something or does something. Go, isn't that fascinating?
You're right. You're very right. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Silka. Good morning, Mr. Michael Muzak.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So yeah, biggest thing with this chapter 11 in Think and Grow Rich. I remember when I was reading this, doing the lives, just how impactful this one was out of all the chapters in this book. This and The Sixth Sense, I think, were the two biggest keys for me because they tied together. And I remember when Napoleon Hill talked about the definition of a genius. He said it's an individual who has discovered how to increase mental intensity and concentration to the point where he or she can freely communicate with sources of knowledge not available through ordinary levels of thought. And in this chapter, he goes more in depth on sex transmutation to reach that level. And so for me, I just remember there was times where I'm gonna say it in this way, and you can correct how I say it, but I'm banging my head against the wall, thinking a certain way, working really hard, quote unquote, and not getting the results that I want. And today I actually, like, for example, September, I took one day off of work. Like I was banging my head, but I wasn't getting the results, right? So I took today off of work just to take a moment to figure out this part where, maybe there's an idea, maybe there's something, a level of thinking, maybe there's a decision I can make where if I just thought in that certain way that you keep talking about, right, the answer would come to help me out with work. So for me right now, I made the decision I want to go through with your mastermind, your 12-month mastermind. I just need help with some big concerns, just simple objections if you can help me overcome. But
sure,
I'm at a point where it's time to make the decision and rock and roll. So
so we'll schedule a call and let me know when you want to chat. Or if I didn't know if you want to do it now or if you wanted to chat privately, either way is fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, can we do it now?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, so for me, it's just like, as long as my full purpose of doing this mastermind is to win at this job, right?
Yep.
Obviously, the other benefits will come as well, but like I'm in the game. I'm playing the game. I'm making 800 calls a day. We got all the tools, all the technology, all the leads.
Yep.
And it really just comes down to my level of thinking, my frequency that I'm promoting, because there's some new girls that will come into the work and they'll get a deal. They'll attract a person that will drop 800 or 180K with them, and they're not, they don't know what they're doing. So it's like, I know they're just emitting a different vibe. So that's what I really want to get out of it. As long as it's like in line with that. And if you can just go over, I guess, what exactly it is. I read it in school.
So the mastermind is a change of state. The mastermind forces you to do the basic fundamentals, foundational brick building.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, you find out where the weaknesses are in the foundation. We have a conversation once, twice a month, more if needed, to track where you're at. The reason that there's no formula for the 12 months, because the formulas are unique. I can't build your formula till we start it. I can't build your house till you show me your blueprint. So a lot of people in mastermind say, here's the blueprint we're going to go build. And people go, oh my God, thank you. The challenge with the mastermind is you are going to have to think. You are going to have to think a lot, and it is going to be exhausting. Why would you want to think? Well, here's the thing. You let a little secret out that is one of the biggest blocks that exists with where you're at right now. I want to do well at this job. No, you don't. Because doing well at the job is going to have to create more sacrifice. You're going to have to work with no days off. What happens if you want to create a life that makes this job valuable to your life, not your life valuable to the job? That's a shift. That's thinking in a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. So who does Michael become when he's pulling in 180K offers? What does he do outside of the job? Right now, this job is your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not your life. You have made this all consuming, all everything. I get it. It can be all consuming. The thing that's most valuable is that it's consuming for what? You become great at this job. What's the next 6 questions? Why? What happens? Who do you become when you achieve the great success and you become, literally, you have the capability and capacity to become the number 1 salesman, the number 1, surpassing anybody? Because if anybody has done it, right? Wallace D. Waddle says anyone can do it. So what happens? Who does Michael become when? Why would that be of value? See, there's no play out in the why becoming successful at this business is beneficial to your life. It's only beneficial to the business. Your engineering mind is creating the formula to become successful in the business, and yet your life is suffering. I'm proud that you took a day off. Don't think about work at all.
Yeah. It's gonna, for example, that was something that was like, oh shoot, am I gonna be thinking about work today? Am I gonna be guilty? So as long as it's like, okay, it's okay to not think about work today.
Well, it's not even okay. It's a mandatory must. As much as it is to make 800 calls today, it's important to make non-800 calls. You've got to give yourself a chance. Well, let me put it this way. Do you ever cook a dinner in a pot, and when you're going to wash the pot, there's some stuff stuck in the corner on the edge because it got hot on the stove?
Yeah.
Imagine putting that pot up with that stuff in there. And you go to cook, you pull that pot down the next time you go to cook. Would you leave that in there, or would you have to go clean that out?
You would have to clean it out.
And that's where you're at right now. You keep cooking with a pot that's got stuff in it, and you're cooking because they're coming in half an hour. We got to cook it. Hopefully it shouldn't make a mess. I've used it this way before. And then you know that the food isn't as good as it could be because that little stain that's in there, and the stain keeps getting worse and worse and harder to clean and harder to clean, but you're going to cook it faster and you're going to cook it stronger. We're not cleaning the soul. We're not cleaning the space. And that's what the mastermind does. I would encourage you to have a conversation with AJ.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm off today, so I'd like to get started right now and just make a decision. That way I can, life can be different right now rather than waiting a little bit.
So the biggest thing I would ask you is, what do you want in 12 months? What's your vision in 12 months? Now, you probably don't have it. Maybe you have it, but I'm going to ask you in great detail.
Yeah, I would have to write it out.
Yeah. So here's a clue. If you ain't got it now, there ain't no reason to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, like I had it because, we would have the conversations more often and we would talk about this stuff. And then I started working 7 days a week, and it was just like, what else is there to do outside of work?
Exactly. Now, you can work 7 days a week. I work at the ranch 7 days a week. It's not that hard. If you know how to produce the result that equates to the long term. It's putting a block in place rather than breaking a wall down. Right now, you're breaking walls down. Some walls needed to be broke. We needed to reset the foundation. You have a great foundation. You understand the foundation. You have foundational experience. The question is can we build it? Because in the beginning, you don't necessarily see the results. You worked for 3 months before, I think 3 months before you got your first sale. How long was it before?
Yeah, it was 3 months.
Yep. See, most people wouldn't know that on the call. Why would I know that? Because I love you. I pay attention to you. You're somebody important to me. And that stuff is important. It's because it's to set the example for you, not for me. So understanding that in 3 months, you created a new foundation. You had a lot going on. Here's the thing that's kind of funny when you look at it today. You moved from up north to Miami, got an apartment, went on an interview, got a rental place, got an apartment, and created your first sale in 3 months. And that was a hockey stick curve. First sale.
Yep.
Now it's kind of been incremental increase. And the reason that your incremental increase is happening, or even some of the dips, is nothing other than you. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because it's not the leads that they have. It's not the qualified leads that they have. It's not the programs they have. They didn't all of a sudden say, Michael, you can only sell $1,000 programs.
Yeah.
1,000%. And this is for everybody. Where you're at, it's your vibration. And there's just this disbelief that my back is against the wall, the dogs are at the door, the wolves are at the window, and everything is there, and you want me to be happy? Yeah. It's not, I got to work harder. There's no time for happiness. Okay, let me know how that works out for you. It's literally and this is where faith comes in. When you know that it's available, you can have faith in the moment that you are moving in that direction. The apartment that you're in, if I were to make it if I were to put the darkest blindfold on you that you couldn't see any light, didn't matter if it was noon in Miami, and I set you in the middle of the room, you don't know where I set you in the middle of the room. Give me an imagery of you're standing in the middle of the room and you move in some direction. I don't care which direction. What's the first thing you're going to bump into? Is it a wall? Is it a table? Is it a chair? Is it a couch?
My kitchen table.
Okay. How would you know it's your kitchen table?
Because I hit it with my right foot.
Okay. But how do you know it's your kitchen table?
You're right. It could be the chair.
How do you know it? So what does it, if you hit the table and the chair with your foot, would you know the difference by how it felt, by the mass of what it hit, how it absorbed your foot energy or reverberated it?
Yeah, I would figure it out.
How would you know? You've never done this exercise before. How would you know? Because it already exists. Now, I want you to imagine, let's say you bumped into the kitchen table. I want you to turn yourself around from center, go back to center, turn yourself around. What would you hit going the other way?
Well, I'd walk until I hit the patio doors to go to my balcony.
Okay. Why isn't the table there?
Because I just turned around. I just hit the table and now I turned around.
Welcome to the mastermind. All it is turning you around to keep bumping into the same damn things you keep bumping into. They keep changing name and changing state. It's still the freaking kitchen table you're bumping your feet on. And you keep saying, well, if I run faster, I'll move it. You ain't moving these blocks. Nobody can move their blocks. You just got to say, you know what? I love you. I'm not coming back this way.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, well,
yeah.
I wish it was that easy. Congratulations. It is. The visualization of what you just did is one of the most prophetic, one of the most profitable things you can do. What are you bumping into right now? What are you bumping into at work? You know the book, you know the movie, the book, U Squared, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of that when you were talking about this.
Exactly. The fly's dying on the window, brother.
Yeah, that's me.
Turn around. Oh, but the light is here. Everything is here. Everything I want is right there. How's it working for you?
Yeah, that's exactly how it's working for me.
So that's the mastermind.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
but I need more structure. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna get it. You just can't. You can't. We can't go. I can't give you the. There's two ways. I can tell you, here's exactly what we're gonna do, and your brain's gonna say, I've done that. I've tried that. I've done this. No, I'm. So it's literally an expression in faith.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have it, listen, AJ and I were talking a year ago. December will be a year since he's re-engaged. He went through decision of self, and a year ago he engaged in November, end of November, December, most of the month of December. And in that time, he's gained 3 silent partner businesses that produce residual income for him, passive income for him, that he never had before. His trading business, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. He just sent me a chart this morning where he took a big win, because that's the thing. He's going to focus on it. He wanted to come to the States and start over. I go, that's the stupidest thing ever. He goes, but everybody's been telling me that. I said, because that's the only thing they can see. You have a skill and a talent to go do this. You help me make money here, sitting in Mason's cabin. Why aren't you using this skill? Jesus, you're right. I can do that any place. And so now his schedule is winters in Dubai, traveling Spain, coming here during some summer months, and going to a couple other places. I said, and can you make money wherever you go? He said, hell yeah, I can make money. So the question isn't about him making money. He wound up with a strategy that the people around him could only give him. That didn't make sense. So it didn't make sense to me. And you know what they said? Well, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Me. That doesn't make sense at all. Of course it doesn't. Thank God it doesn't make sense, because it won't make dollars either. So I'll put you guys in a WhatsApp chat, and then you can chat whenever you can.
Yeah, and send me the invoice.
And ask him. You guys, he's 24. You're what? How old?
25.
There's something going on there. Same age. Now, I'll tell you this. He will say it'll be the most grueling, aggravating. I'm glad he lives 7,000 miles away. I'm glad you live in Miami.
Yeah, it's not
I promise you,
either.
One of us will always have fun. Most of the times, both of us will.
Yeah.
And he's come to the point to where he said on this trip, he said, I'm just done thinking you don't know what you're talking about. Like, wow, it's taken 9 months to get there. Yeah. Like, okay. So once you start, there's no quitting. So if you're in it, you're in it. Now you can decide to quit, but I'm telling you, there ain't no quitting.
I wouldn't quit.
Well, I know, but you say that now, right? This is Navy SEAL. You can go ring the bell at any time. This is Navy SEAL training on your mind. And when you want to ring the bell, ring the bell. I'm okay. Whatever. But I'm just saying, the results are proven. Why? Because you have the capacity. You have the evidence. Look at all of the things you've done. I bet if I asked you to look at your evidence book, it's probably missing a lot of things, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely missing a lot.
I'd spend some time filling up your evidence book. Oh, speak of the angel. He just popped in. So does that make sense? And you're like, well, but I need more. You can't get more till you step into the fence. You got to cross over the fence. I can give you everything it is. You get everything on this call. The reason it doesn't sink in is because you're cutting your teeth instead of cutting a check. That's the only difference. There's nothing super secretive about the mastermind. The challenge is that when it's one-on-one, You ain't got nobody to talk to or ask for help. You don't have, there's no call outline. This isn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, call a friend. There ain't no friend to call.
Mhm.
This is the hero's journey. You're going to go through the night in the cave, the belly of the whale, the night at sea, the final resistance. You're going to go through all of these things, and then you'll come back with the elixir. Too many people wind up in coaching or training or a AKA mastermind or a mentor, and they come back with elixir that everybody says, that's the same elixir you had the last time. It still doesn't work. And we all want to come back and teach the elixir. I've been doing this for 40 years. I can come back and say, here's the elixir. Yeah, but it doesn't look sexy. You're right. Elixirs aren't supposed to be sexy. They're supposed to provide a cure. They're not supposed to be flashy and diamonds and all that stuff. Anyway, so there you go. So AJ, I know you're on here. Michael wants to get into the mastermind, so I'm going to have you and him have a conversation, and you can tell him, I'll answer the questions however you want to, good, bad, or indifferent. It's going to be a little challenging. I say challenging, Michael, because he just came back from a week with me. So he might be a little what's the word I'm looking for, biased about it. But that's the other thing I'm doing next year, is that I'm actually going to have, we're going to have the group meeting in the beginning of the year. And for those in the mastermind, I'm going to do kind of the 3-day, 4-day one-on-one. You come out to the ranch, and yeah, it'll be a bunch of more events here. I think this was the first one-on-one conversation we had, and that's probably going to be a function of the mastermind. As you come here, you sit, and you're with me and Michelle for 3 or 4 days, and there ain't no hiding when you're here by yourself. So
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what's next? What do I do next?
I'll send you an invoice.
Yeah, can you just credit? Right now I'm paying you 60 a month. Can that be a part of it? We just
that
do.
goes away. That part goes away. So it's all absorbed. All of everything I have is available. Like the 5-day challenge that's coming up on the DMP, you're probably going to be working. So all of those recordings to those in the mastermind are available to you, and that's all just part of it. You get everything.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that fee would be canceled, and then it's just part of the overall mastermind.
Yep. All right. Sounds like a good plan.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Love you, brother.
Love you too.
AJ, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon.
Haven't talked to you in a week on this morning.
Haven't talked to you in a while, man. How are you? I didn't see you.
Outstanding.
For a long
Congratulations on your win this morning.
What's that?
Well, it's not a win if you know how to read the candles, but that looked like a good take.
Yeah, that was a good trade. Well, hi everybody. Haven't been on the call for a week. I've been busy with some stuff. I had some, or should I say, I've been busy with rather pressing matters over the last week. They were very pressing. Now, by the way, Michael, I actually gotta feel sorry for you a little bit because you're in the States. So he's gonna make you out, come to the ranch, cut grass, and earn for your supper. Working
I
for a
told
living.
you, Michael, now wouldn't be a good time. He'll be a little biased about what took place here.
Yeah, well, he's gonna make you work. He can't make me work that much because I'm in Europe, so it takes me like 20 hours to get there. But since you're in the States, you're only like 3 hours away. Feel sorry. It sucks to be you, buddy. I'm kidding. Yeah, you can reach out to me.
Oh, by the way,
anytime.
AJ, your Tuesday is your day to water the sheep, so we'll see you.
Really? Well, okay. I'll catch your flight on Monday. Again, come back. Yeah, it's been a great week. I will be consulting with Sean in, well, I should say permissions. I don't want to say permissions. I want to say just consulting with him and sharing some insights with all of y'all. And because this was great, so for everybody home, I spent a week at the ranch. Sean kind of did me a favor over there because it was a long trip from here. So coming there just for the 4-day event would be kind of intense. So we kind of expanded on it a little bit. And I was blessed with the grace of spending a week with Sean and Michelle and Mason. Well, Mason not pretty much because it was in the room all the time, but Michelle and Mason, Michelle and Sean for sure. And kidding aside, it was real. Let me Okay, can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
So I've spent a week at Sean's place at the ranch. We've done some real good work over there over the course of a week. I gotta say that if you opt out for that, and starting next year, as Sean proposed, we talked about this on the ranch, and apparently Michelle went for it. It is really gonna be an out of this world experience, and the reason I say that is because it will really demonstrate how this whole journey of working on yourself actually works, which is that most of the time you got no idea why something's going on. You got no idea what's going on. In the moment is very difficult to connect the dots. But then as you progress and as you kind of in retrospective, you connect the dots and it starts making a lot of sense. And the reason I say that is because after the journey ended and on the flight back home, because it's a three-parter actually, on the major flight back home from the States to Europe, it was 9 hours, so I got 9 hours to think about what happened. And as I was looking at this event in retrospective, I realized that every single one of the things was premeditated, and it actually makes sense. So for everybody, my first morning on the range, so I came in Monday afternoon, I think, right, Sean? It was Monday afternoon.
Yep.
Tuesday morning, I wake up. Now, mind you, I had the experience of April. I thought we were gonna go to Charles's Boathouse and do probably like a 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday, or Saturday. Sean comes on and he said, "Go to my office and change." I said, "What for?" He goes, "You're gonna be cutting grass today." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you're gonna be cutting grass." So he gave me these overalls, like straight out of Tom Sawyer book or whatever. And we took some pictures. I think all of you saw it. So he puts me up on this machine. I got no clue how this works. I'm a city kid. These are city kid hands. These are meant to be soft and elegant, not doing range work. So long story short, I go up there. He shows me how to use the machine. I get a couple of minutes to get accustomed to it. I start using it and I start cutting grass on the northern side of the property. And for a short while, maybe about 2.5 hours, maybe, for a first time in a very long time, I've been thinking about nothing. It was such a mindless experience just to be on the machine and cut grass and just focus on the now, just focus on cutting grass. And there was literally not a single outside thought that came in because it was so mindless. And then stuff occurred, things happened. And at one point on, I think it was Sunday night, we had a conversation on the porch, myself and Sean and Michelle. And I told him this was really a real good chess game. I mean, this was all premeditated. Every action there was a meaning behind every action, if that makes sense. And the first thing that he actually got me to do was cut grass. And apart from the ability to earn for my lunch, I did learn a valuable lesson, which is that when you're about to go do something, work out, meditate, journal, write, read, whatever, in order for it to really work and for it to be really effective, you do need to put yourself in this state of mind, which is mindless, that you really focus exactly on what you're doing, whether it's working out, walking, meditating, journaling, reading, whatever. So that's what got this experience started. And as we were working, I noticed that that's one of the key areas where I failed to proceed successfully. In terms of when I'm working, I always have my phone on. When I'm reading, I'm always reading and listening to some music. When I'm working out, I'm always in between sets. I'm always looking at my phone, looking at Telegram, looking at WhatsApp, looking at whatever. And I realized that even the success I made so far, which was me pretty much multitasking every single day for as many hours as I can, if that brought me the success I currently have, what would be on the other side and what success lies out there for me when I actually lock in? You heard this term online, lock in or whatever. So that was amongst many, which I will compound and kind of give it out there to people who are willing to listen and follow, which is more important. That was one of the major takeaways. So being biased, yes, I am, but I'm not being biased because I want to suck it up to Sean or I want to whatever. That doesn't matter. And we go way past that point anyway. It's because it really works and it's really an out of this world experience for you to be spending a couple days over there by yourself. Because we agreed on it when we talked, Sean. We agreed that the mastermind is a math problem. If there's 5 of us and we have a conversation, we have a workshop, 5 of us can be there for a week. 5 of us can be there for a month. It's a simple math problem. I, right now, apart from the morning call, which I did not attend because of obvious reasons, I got all of the attention and I got all of the conversation. When there's 5 of us, the attention and conversation needs to be split 6 ways because there's Sean and there's 5 of us. So it's a simple math problem. So when every single one of you come out there to the ranch and spend alone time with Sean and Michelle for a couple of days, could be a day, could be 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. You're getting everything. All of the attention, all the conversations, you get everything. And that, my dear friends, is just mentally draining in a positive way. Okay. So with that being said, I actually have something to show you. Let me see. Okay. So this is my new pen case. This is my pencils case. This was gifted to me by Charles. He does some pottery now. Oh, here, this is it. There you go. So this is my new pen case. I'm super grateful for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would strongly encourage everybody to go on this journey. Well, have a start of their own hero's journey by being alone with the ranch people out there for a while, because it's really gonna put some things in perspective that you didn't really had in your sight before. So thank you, thank you, thank you again, Sean, for everything. Remember me to Michelle and Mason in the K9 unit. And I'll see you soon, I guess.
Love
Again.
it. Awesome. Thanks, AJ. Yeah. Dubby has gone over a couple of times to the tent looking for you and came back confused. So awesome, awesome. So that's, and again, so AJ, you and Michael can swap info. I may put you in a WhatsApp chat, and then just let them ask you the tough questions and go from there. So anyone else, thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous? Okay. Outstanding. Have an amazing, fun-filled day. Glad AJ's home safe and sound. Glad you're all home and safe and sound. I'm your head brain training, masterminding misfit. And we'll talk to you where?
The next event.
At the next
Next event.
And yes, you can, Michael, you can also talk to Diane and to Ruth, and they'll be happy to give you their insights as well. So somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
What up?
We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us all.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you master your mind, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Lee,
Lee.
baby.
Lee, we love you, girl. And a little white fluffy.
Gurgly,
Gurgly, gurgly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun. We will talk to you all on the manana. And remember, October 21st through the 25th, SeanGMurphy.com/DMP 2025 is where you can get signed up if you're not already. And yeah, that's going to be cool. Some of the stuff I'm working on. Good morning, Seamus. All right, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day,
Love you,
guys.
Sean. Thank you.
Love you
Love
all.
you all.
Hey, y'all,
Have a great
take care.
day.